Welcome back to Melodic Memories of a Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and I want to start this episode off by talking about Black Veil Brides and their newest episode of Who Cares About Black Veil Brides. If you don't know and you haven't listened to any of my other episodes, especially last one, it is their documentary series that they've been putting out on YouTube. So if you're interested, go check it out. It is up on their YouTube channel right now, and it is such a good watch, especially as a fan. Just once again, giving even more insight on the band, and this episode, for the first part of it, most heavily focused on Andy, as it started with them being in the van on the way back to the hotel, and they were able to talk about just the absolute push, the Bierzak push. I can't remember exactly how they coined it, but Chris is the one that said it, and it's just very inspiring once again to be able to see that no matter what, all the people that just constantly told Andy specifically, let alone the whole entire band, just constantly telling them no and how they aren't ever going to make it, that their music's not good enough, that their art isn't good enough to make it on such a stage as Wembley to headline it. And to just kind of show this whole documentary showing literally that they were so wrong for the power that Black Veil Brides is able to bring, and just continuously show off over the years. They made it to Wembley and they were able to play a headlining show. Now, obviously, the documentary has not gotten up to that point quite yet. I believe the next episode should be highlighting the actual show itself, which, side comment, I know this probably isn't going to happen, so don't take it as it's going to happen, but I would very much, so much love, just as the fan that I am, to get an Alive and Burning 3 of sorts with this Wembley show. Like, they recorded the documentary. I hope they recorded the concert too. Like, I'm not expecting that, not expecting it at all. It's just a fan's hope, but it would be really cool to be able to see this Wembley show after they're leading up to the whole, road to Wembley and making it this big grand thing, because it's such a huge monumental moment for their career and just for their dreams in general. It would be cool for us fans that weren't able to go, that couldn't afford the plane ticket, that aren't in the area to be able to see it. It would be really cool for us to get some sort of live version of that. Obviously, not going to be upset if we don't. That's just me, shouting out a hope into the great unknown. But the actual episode itself, it went over that with them being in the car and being able to have just like a very genuine chat and learning even more about Andy, even more than, things that could be assumed for sure, but just confirmed that like Andy is most himself and feels the most comfortable and confident when his family's with him. And it's the reason, as he said in this episode, which I thought was very sweet and very just like heartwarming, that Juliet, even as cliche as it might sound, as soon as they met, he felt she was his home. And that really warmed my heart, because you don't get that. Like, that's a very rare thing to find. And the fact that he was able to find that, and obviously they're very, very close-knit, they're close together, they're inseparable at this point. Like, they're married, have been for a long time. Like, she even mentioned she's been there since like 2011. So it's been a long time. And I remember them meeting at, I believe it was like Warped Tour. Obviously I wasn't there. Would have been cool to be able to see them back in the Warped Tour days, but all the same, maybe in the future if I get to go to a Warped Tour. But that's besides the point. As per the documentary, to just, for all of the family members, be it Amy and her whole fiasco with the plane seats, or Chris and, Juliet, like all of them, and the whole band, everyone that was able to be there, Blasco, Yanni, all of these people that really were the core of what made this dream into a reality, they were able to be there for this show. And I think that's like a full circle moment that is just incredibly heartwarming. And obviously I'm biased. I love this band and everything they do, and the interactions that they have with each other, be it them as a band, as a group, or them with the touring staff, or even with the other band Creeper, because they're shown in this episode. It's all just so inspiring and eye-opening too. Like, I would have never expected, obviously a lot of work goes into the entire tour, the actual stage staff, the people that put things together, and it's shown. Like, they show it in this documentary, not to the full extent. Obviously we're still following the band members around, but as Andy's walking around the stage and seeing what he doesn't really like about it, like the drum high riser, it being kind of like wrinkled or put off on the wrong way, and even the background. But to see that there's so many people doing so many specific things, like it's pretty much like a clock. Like every gear has to work for it to come off properly, and it's very, I don't know how else to put it, but inspiring to just be like, they were able to do this one person at a time, everyone put together. They were able to make this become a reality. Even Blasco putting in the work, doing the pyro, like my guy. It's just awesome to be able to see this pure insight of everything, and even get some of their fun kind of conversations they have with each other. Like Lonnie being Canadian, I understand a 2-6 and also a parkade. Yeah, that is normal. I did not know that was a difference. And also the classic debate of, is a burger a sandwich? Now, I did not expect to start that episode and get that right off the bat too, but I will say, to kind of close out all my thoughts, I would have to say, yes, a burger is a sandwich, but it is more of a descriptor. Like, sandwich is like the overarching umbrella term, whereas a burger kind of hangs under that. And then you can get a wrap, and then you can get, like they were saying, calzone and all these other things. Like, I think that's kind of how it goes in my mind, but anyone else have any opinions on that? Controversial topic, I know. Let me know at Lights Monarch on all socials. Aside from that, though, Black Veil Brides, they're gearing up to Wembley in this documentary series, and it's all very interesting to watch. If you were a fan, you would be doing yourself a disservice not to check it out. I would highly recommend it, as I've been a fan for a long time, and even I am finding out some things that I didn't either know or just maybe even forgot. Like, it's been a long time. I've been with this band over 10 years, so there's a lot of time for things to maybe be forgotten or remembered or actually seen in a new light. It's all very interesting, very great to finally see it happen. And Black Veil, I can't wait till the next episode, and for whatever else you have left on the horizon next year. Now, this episode I'm recording just a little bit early, not crazy early, but the reason why, I'm actually going to Edmonton to see a show, and that show is MGK. Now, I know he's not necessarily the most favorited musician in the world, very controversial musician, if you will, but in my eyes, I enjoy him. He's not one of my favorites, absolute all-time favorite, but I very much like some of his songs, and I can appreciate the journey he's been on and how much he has had to grow and change and really become himself and not be so afraid of that. And it shows in his interviews, in his actual performance on stage, even at Warped Tour, the Warped Orlando, because he played right after Black Veil. I was able to catch that set. It's all, again, just as Black Veil was, just in a different way. It's inspiring to kind of see, and I was able to get into him rather around the whole Rap Devil and Killshot with Eminem and him, the kind of beef they had, and then to go further on into his pop punk career with Travis Barker and full on to, from Tickets to Mainstream Sellout, even the Sad Boy thing that he did with Trippie Redd, and his, obviously amazing song with NF, and then to Lost Americana. I know that came out before, but regardless, it's all very kind of full circle for me because I'm able to take my buddy Paul, shout out to him. He got me into MGK, or at least rather got me to give him a chance, because I knew Rap Devil. I preferred Killshot, as I think most people did, but when the pop punk album came out, Tickets to My Downfall, I was able to listen to it and really get into it because of Paul. I wasn't super sure on it yet as it came out. I didn't really think his voice kind of fit. I didn't really like it. But he told me, yo, give it a shot, because he really liked it. So I was like, you know what? Because I respect you, buddy, and I love you, I will most certainly give it a shot. And I did, and it actually became my album of that summer, the year it came out. And then Mainstream Sellout, I was able to follow him through that, and that era was a little bit shaky. I mean, do we have to mention Emo Girl? Really hope he doesn't play that one. Please, MGK, do not. But we'll see what happens. And then, again, The Lost Americana, which is his next full-length album after all that. He really, again, came into his own, and that just came out this year. And I remember talking about it earlier and saying that it broke my expectations. Like, it beat them. I surpassed. any expectation that I had. I didn't really know what to expect from him because he's kind of hit or miss for me. But when he does good, and he's able to hold these emotions that I didn't think was capable from an artist like him. And maybe that's just me being discriminatory and biased as well, and I don't mean to be, but just being honest, that's kind of my worries. That's what I thought when the album came out, but the album still has stuck with me. I haven't listened to it a crazy amount since it's been out, but I still appreciate it and respect him as an artist as well. Even if he may have done some, questionable things in the past, if he's able to make music with an artist that I respect to the high heavens, being NF, yeah, I would 100% think that this guy is worth to go see. I know I bought the tickets before all that, but regardless, it just kind of solidified and cemented that fact. So I'm looking forward to the show. I don't really know what to expect other than Wiz Khalifa is opening, which I didn't really want to sign up for him. I don't really know much about him, don't know any of his songs aside from features that he's done, and the fact that he has his stoner laugh, I don't know why that's in all of his songs, not sure. Stoner SpongeBob, not my vibe, but I will say I'm looking forward to Machine Gun Kelly, and the Julia Wolf, I believe, is opening for him, and they did a song together, rather a cover of Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, and that is going to be something I can bawl my eyes out to. That I'm looking forward to, because they did say that they're going to be playing that in full alongside MGK. He's doing a full set of Tickets to My Downfall, which again is the album that I was able to get into for him. So again, full circle moment, very happy about that. And to mention the Goo Goo Dolls, the Iris cover, well, I might be able to see more than just a cover of it pretty soon. The Goo Goo Dolls, they actually ended up announcing a spring tour across some of Canada, and Edmonton was one of the dates. And they're going to have Dashboard Confessional opening for them. I'm very much looking forward to that. I did get tickets, and I am very much looking forward to it. I actually seen that it was announced and kind of hummed and hawed of, do I really want to go? Do I know enough of their music? They are a legacy band that I want to see. Kind of like on the level of, I really want to see Blue October. I really want to see Three Doors Down. Kind of that vibe, if you will, even Counting Crows. That kind of music. And with Goo Goo Dolls, I was very much intrigued, and maybe I shouldn't have jumped on the tickets because I don't know much of their stuff aside from their banger hits like Iris or even some stuff from Gutter Flower. But Goo Goo Dolls, I was actually able to go back in their discography to their very first album, the self-titled, from 1987. Had no idea that they were that old. No clue whatsoever that they've been doing music that long. I know nothing about them, and I realized that real quick after I pressed play on that album. Nobody told me that Goo Goo Dolls was punk, and granted, nobody had to. I should have known that from, myself, but they started out, they might not sound like that at all anymore, and that's what I'm kind of assuming, but they started out as a pure punk band. And that shocked me to no end. I did not know that that's how they started with their sound, and I was happily surprised. I like that kind of music as well. Just knowing what Iris is and a couple of the other kind of radio hits, had no clue that that's how they started out, and wow, did they ever find their sound as they went on, because Iris didn't come out until their 6th album, and their 5th album, A Boy Named Goo, I believe that was the one that put them on the map. So all things considered, I'm looking forward to continuing going through their albums as I go, and then more Dashboard Confessional, because I do like them. Their song As Lovers Go from Shrek 2 soundtrack, that would be my recommendation. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. It is a very, very good one. I know that might be my bias. I do believe the Shrek 2 soundtrack is probably the best soundtrack of all time. But that aside, Goo Goo Dolls, I bought tickets, and I'm going to be going. And I'm looking forward to it, and I get to hear the actual band play Iris in person, and that alone is enough. So I'm looking forward to it. It was a little bit of a impulse buy, but hopefully I won't regret it. That's in March. So some things to look forward to alongside the next month in April, my birth month. And not just my birth month, but my birthday. Now, I can't remember if I already mentioned this in a previous episode, and if I did, apologies, but I'm going to mention it again because I am excited. On my birthday, next year, the day that I turn 27, I'm going to be able to see Hayley Williams live in Minneapolis. And she plays April 18th, Minneapolis. That's day one. I believe she plays again on the 19th, but I was able to get tickets. Rather, Crystal, shout out to her. I was able to get tickets from her. She bought the tickets. And luckily enough, we're going to be able to go, and I'm going to be able to see Hayley Williams on my birthday. Now that I'm talking about it, I do remember mentioning it at least once. But it's just I keep saying full circle moment, but it really is. I love Hayley Williams. I've always wanted to see her live. I know I've seen her once with Paramore at the When We Were Young Fest when they headlined the first year that it happened. And that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I adore Paramore. And I always wanted to go see her solo stuff because a lot of those songs I have cried to. I have grown to. I have loved to. Like, a lot of these songs, they mean a lot to me. And even though her newest album, I haven't really given the full time of day since it's come out, when it was coming out as singles, mind you, so the couple extra tracks she's dropped since, I haven't really gotten to sink my teeth into because of everything else that's been coming out, like NF, Bad Omens, and just everything else. It's just been too busy. But I'm excited for Hayley Williams in this show because it's going to be just her. It's going to be an intimate venue. It's going to be on my birthday. I've only ever been able to go to a concert one other time on my birthday, and that was a couple years ago in Better Than Fred's, a local venue where I live, just a bar show. It was Cancer Bats and Comeback Kid, and that show was so fun, so cool to be able to go to a live music performance on my birthday. One of my favorite things that I can do just in general in life, because live music, nothing's better than that, and to have that kind of release. But being that it was my birthday, my friends that I wouldn't have expected to come, like I wouldn't have expected any of them to want to go because this is like punk rock, hard rock music, they were all there, which like still kind of thinking back bewilders me. But at the time, they were telling me, of course we had to come. It's your birthday. Like, this is what you wanted to do, so we're here for you, man. And that still, like, warms my heart thinking about it because it's something that I never would have expected. Like, love you guys. Thank you so much. But that was the last show and the only show I've been able to go see on my birthday. And yes, it's going to be a lot less heavy of a show with Hayley Williams, but and I don't think I'm going to be crowd surfing because that was my first ever experience crowd surfing was at Better Than Fred's during, I believe, Comeback Kid's set. Yeah, I crowd surfed at a bar. That was my first experience. Fuck yes, it was cool. Anyways, besides the point, with Hayley Williams, I'm really looking forward to it because she's just an artist that I very much, again, I respect her. And she actually stated in a recent interview with Clash Magazine that people should feel welcome at her upcoming tour, and she makes it clear that she doesn't want racists around, and she doesn't want sexist people around, and she doesn't want people there who think that trans people are a burden. And respect to her. Like, thank you, Hayley Williams, for saying so. I hope everyone gets the message. And if anyone there is discriminatory against people, like, I'm sure Hayley Williams will tell them where to go real quick. And obviously, I do believe that music is not a place for hate. It is a place for unity and to come together as one and love the artist that's on stage, the music that's being played, and be able to have our own moments with said music as a whole. Like, it's very, I don't know. I know I'm kind of making it sound like otherworldly, but sometimes it is. Music shows, concerts, live music, it is otherworldly. It's euphoric. It's supposed to be good. Not a hate-ridden piece of, garbage, which Hayley Williams isn't going to let that happen. So regardless of all that, I'm very excited because, again, it is Hayley Williams. Now, besides that, Black Friday just passed alongside American Thanksgiving. Happy late Thanksgiving. I know I said it in the last episode, but I'll say it again. Hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving for the Americans that are listening. And Black Friday, what a time that was. I worked a double shift at my actual jobs. I work at, again, Sunrise Records part-time, and being that it's retail Black Friday, I had to be there. And yeah, it was pretty busy. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would have been, but something I wanted to kind of touch on, being that it was record store day for Black Friday. They have some weird, like, exclusive things that come out on Black Friday. Regardless, nothing really caught my eye except for the Matchbox 20 Live 2001 that they dropped. Very cool. It was like Mad Season from start to finish with a couple covers, I do believe, but the actual interactions that I had with people at the store on Black Friday is something I kind of wanted to touch on, just the littlest bit. That it was really heartwarming to be able to get somebody to say, hey, I love your hoodie, because I was walking around and I was wearing a Panic at the Disco hoodie, which is the exact hoodie that I got from when we were young, yes. But they were like, hey, I love your hoodie, and I looked at them and they had blue hair, they had an MCR hoodie on as well, and I was able to have that interaction and conversation. Like, hey, I like your hoodie too. And I was able to overhear you guys, hopefully that isn't weird, that you have to start your day off with MCR at least once. Like, it is ritual at this point. And I was able to kind of have a little bit of a conversation about that, and it was just nice. Again, unity within music, and also somebody looking out for NF and his stuff, not usual for what I find in the store that I work at. It was really cool for me as a fan. And I just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. Not anything crazy, just little interactions that I had. And also Noah, Gracie, Hannah, and Noah's friend, thanks for coming by to kill the time. It really helped, as I know being there till 10 p.m. was not the most fun, but it could have been worse. Also, Sleep Token. I need to mention them because Sleep Token, as everyone knows, they're making waves. They're being noticed. They're literally on top of the rock world for the majority of this year. And their newest album, Even in Arcadia, is to thank for that, as it even got announced that Revolver, the Revolver Awards, a magazine company, they gave Even in Arcadia Album of the Year, which is honestly pretty big. It isn't the first album of the year that they've won. I believe, I could be wrong in saying this, but I do believe Rock Sound gave it to them as well, or at least gave them some sort of award. Very big things for them anyways, as a band that kind of just broke onto the scene, yes, because of TikTok, but have proven themselves even more than that because they've been around longer than that. But just very happy, because I do believe that album deserves to be noticed and deserves such an award, even though I do think Breach should maybe get it over that. But it really depends on what outlet you're really looking at and what lens you're looking at the music through, listening to it. Like, both albums amazing. Sleep Token, congrats. And being it was Thanksgiving just like a couple days ago for the Americans, the football isn't something I usually watch, but during the halftime session of football, I can't remember which teams were playing, but Jack White brought out Eminem. I believe Detroit at least was playing someone. But damn, like, that was cool to see. I was able to see some recap about it on Twitter, and I just kind of was like, whoa. To see him come out with Eminem, that was really cool. And even more so for the Bengals. It's like the only football team that I really know much about aside from the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. But the Bengals, my favorite NFL team because of Andy, literally because of him, they were able to get Joe Burrow back and win on Thanksgiving. So fuck yeah, congrats to the Bengals. Who day, hell yeah. And also Scatterbrain by Brian Burkheiser. I mentioned it in my last episode. I have to mention it here. He announced his first single coming out December 1st, Monday. Yes, as you're listening to this podcast, you can go listen to that right after Scatterbrain. It's going to be, I hope, amazing. I honestly don't know what it's going to sound like at all, but I'm fingers crossed that it is going to be good. Also, on top of all of that, we got a new Palais Royale song. I did not expect to get one this soon after we just got Feel Something Great. I did not expect to get a new one called Sad Generation so soon. Palais Royale is a band that I very much enjoy. I don't think they're hitting the heights that they can hit as they have hit back in Fever Dream. I believe that was kind of their magnum opus, if you will. It was Bastards, but Fever Dream kind of really became its own thing. And Death or Glory I never latched on too much. I love their EPs that they did recently, or semi-recently. But with this new album that's coming, these two new singles, I'm curious to say the least. I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be everything I want it to be, as, you know, that's not my call, but I'm intrigued, very much intrigued. And it's something nice to kind of be heartwarmed about, because we might be on the verge of AI possibly ending human art. Like, there was a new agreement that was signed with the Warner Music Group that they're letting AI use the likeness of the artists and kind of making new music based off of the artists under Warner Music Group. I don't know much about it. It's just something I seen, I believe State of the Scene posted on Twitter. And I very much appreciate looking at their stuff and keeping caught up on the news. And very disheartening, very angering, to be honest, that they're letting this company, Suno, I believe is the name, make art based on, like, it just feels wrong. Like, why? Just tell me why. But all that aside, I don't want to focus on the negative. I'm going to be going off to a concert soon in this episode. I have to cut it off here because I don't have a lot of time left. Just wanted to kind of end it off by saying NF. I have to talk about him because of Fear. Like, he is killing the game. He got his top-selling album #1, and also he scored his 5th #1 album on the top rap charts with Fear, as the EP earned 76,000 equivalent album units in its first week, and it joined Therapy Session, Perception, The Search, and Hope in his #1 collection on the chart. And that aside is amazing news. Very happy for him. And Yoko Shimomura, she's a pianist that I love. She does a lot of music for Kingdom Hearts, and she's actually going to be doing the piano collection for Undertale when that comes out. The whole 10-year thing I mentioned in the last episode. She's going to be doing it, and that honestly is a dream come true. Also, to kind of touch on this, Bad Omens currently have 3 singles in the top 10 of Billboard's Hot Hard Rock Songs chart, being Spectre, Dying to Love, and their newest single, Left for Good. Very huge shame that Impose isn't in that list, but beggars can't be choosers, now can we? I'm very happy with the new Bad Omens. I just kind of want to put that out there. They've been on repeat for me. Whenever I kind of don't know what to listen to, I'll throw their singles on alongside like some of Breach, some of Fear, even Hallelujah by Black Veil and Bleeders. Like, it's all been kind of a cycle, so that's also part of the reason I haven't been able to listen to a lot of new music either. But all that aside, very much good things to come, very much good things to happen aside from that AI thing. Fuck that straight up. Nobody needs it. But now we are going to be on to Christmas. It is going to be December as you're listening, and that is wild. The end of 2025. Onward to 2026, big things, Black Veil, Bad Omens, I believe even Motionless in White, probably a whole shit ton of other bands as well, and concerts. It's going to be an amazing year, and fingers crossed the world doesn't end before then. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for discovering the music within.